is going to be. I'm going to try some Praxis easy, medium, and hard. I might try and see if I can add a few instrumental questions in there, in history and all the topics. So stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy what I'm about to do. So, Praxis, I'm going to start with the easy questions. Easy questions. Okay, very easy questions. Okay, come on. Bring some easy questions. Alright. Okay, some easy peasy no brainer. Just brain teasers. How many beats does a quarter note get in 4/4 time? Okay, if you not have had basic music in your lifestyle, let's say band, band classes usually start with that sort of concept right there. It's called rhythm. It is called time signatures. It is called whatever we're going to call it. I'm going to say the beats, the top, and the bottom of your time signature. Let me explain it and see how well I know this. Alright, the top of your time signature is saying how many beats are in a measure. Now, the bottom one is going to say what kind of note gets the beat. The what kind of note gets the beat in 4/4 is a quarter note. And based on the fundamentals, because you should have learned, let me tell you this. By the time you got into college, you should have already had some knowledge of fundamentals because you were taught this way back in 5th grade if you took 5th grade band. The fundamentals of this is one beat, quarter note. Number 2 is another one. That's an example of basic fundamentals. What does the treble class also go by? Okay. The treble class is going to circle this little thing around the second line in the staff, which is that second line going to be the G class. Which tempo marking means fast? Okay, you should learn this in band, in choir, before you go into school. Because if you ever had a music folder that has Fabricus folders, I know they still make them with the little glossary in the opening of the folder. I had to share those when I was in private school, and definitely had to share those when I was in community band. And based on my little knowledge on that question, I'm going to say Allegro, but also the fact is when you get into conducting classes, you're going to learn these terms too. I say revisit them. So yeah, if you have not, if you don't know this question, chances are you have not paid attention in your studies or in your basics. Somebody should have taught this long time ago. How many sharps are in the key of G major? 1, technically. And the only sharp in the G major is F sharp. A whole step is the same direction as. It would take 2 half steps. Which instrument is a part of the woodwind family? If you have not learned this in your basic classes, basic band, general music classes, then you have not paid attention. Because somebody should have taught you this early. And that's why I emphasize music to be taught very early in life. That you should know the family. So I believe there's a string family, there's a woodwind family, a brass family, And I also think percussion. And I would say the darn flute is part of the wind family, which dynamic means soft. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you this one. Dynamics is a huge one. I'm going to say piano. Which note? Lasts the longest. Whole note, quarter note. Okay. Lasts the longest. A quarter note does not last long, and a whole note would last long. Half note does not. Because let me say why. Half note is 2 counts. You play the note for 2. Quarter note is about you play the note for 1 count. Whole note you play an actual note for 4 counts. Eighth note's about half of a beat, so let's put it that way. What does the word crescendo mean? Get louder. Who's the classical era composer? Mozart. I'm gonna just get answer key, and I want an answer key just to prove it. Okay, so ooh, I had all the right. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to do medium questions. Search them. Leveling up. Medium questions. Alright, so the medium questions is for this. What is the key signature of E flat major? Okay. I'm gonna say 3 flats B E A. If I did it in that order, B goes out to E and you go back down to A, B, E, A, put in the order of the flats. Which interval is formed between C and G? Perfect fifth. When a piece is marked as Dante, it should be played okay, not very fast as possible. No, it's not very fast as possible. It's not very fast for one, so now it puts me at the first two. I'm going to say, because the B would sound more like Morado. Morado would have been this. I'm going to have to say A, because then again, it's very slow. Which scale degree is the leading tone in the major key? 7. Which key is the 5 in the key of D major? Okay, it's 5. Okay, dominant D, A. That's A. That's the first one. A major. Because major, I'd say the 5 has to be major in the major key. So we already kind of declared you as A. Which instrument is a transposing instrument? And I believe I just said, and I believe I had a question like this called clarinet B flat. Which time signature best fits in the waltz? 3-4. Which composer is associated with Romantic period? Chopin. What does ritardando mean? Ritardando is okay. If you have seen this before, I'm going to positively say beat. Slow down. In solfege. What syllable is used for the dominant? So, answer key. Answer key to these questions. Ooh. Had those right. So now I'm going to go even harder. Okay, so I had those right. So let's go hard next. Hard. Hard. Go to hard mode. What is the key of the piece with 4 flats in the key signature and a strong emphasis on E flat? Okay, 4 flats, strong emphasis, which is the 5th, which is the dominant. I'm going to say A flat is going to be the first one. Alright. Identify the intervals between B flat and F sharp. B flat and F are perfect fifths, so that's not in my question. So it seems like it raised the fifth. I'm going to have to say, oh shoot. B flat, wait a minute. Well, why would it be diminished? Oh wait, but I have to look at the first part. It would be diminished because of the, okay. Go through the rules. If it's B flat and F, it would have been perfect. If it's B and F sharp, that would be perfect. If it's just B and F, I'll admit it. But I think it would be B. In the key of A minor, what is the leading tone? Okay. A minor, the leading tone is G sharp. Which Roman numeral correctly labels E, G sharp, B, and A minor? Okay, very interesting. When the A goes to the E, it's gonna be, okay, and thank goodness for Dr. Jerry's piano classes, because he applied that rule in piano. Now, let's see if I remembered this. Let's just be a test to see if I still remember it. Because I know he did show this in major keys and minor keys, that some things have to change. But I do also believe that in the, with the minor mode, if you have a 5, you have to somehow make this major. That is the way it goes. And I'm going to say in the top of my head knowledge that it would have to be A, because it's the dominant. A melody that raises the 6th and 7th scale degrees ascending but is natural minor descending. This describes melodic minor. Which instrument should sound in major second lower than it's written? Major second lower than it's written. B flat clarinet. Which cadence is formed by a 4-1? Amen is plagal. Which composer is best known for the Charlton Stromberg? In 6/8, the beats most commonly felt in 3. Wait, no, the beat. Okay. No, I wouldn't say 6 because it has to have that 4 on the bottom, so I wouldn't necessarily say that. Then I'm going to have to say 3 quarter note beats. Which term describes a tonal? Answer key. Alright, so I only had one wrong. Good luck. Okay, I'm going to do even harder questions. Just questions. Alright. Okay, we got some hard ones. This is gonna be fun. Alright. A key that has 5 flats, the key is using C flat as a point of rest. If a key has 5 flats, the piece uses frequently C flat as a point of rest. What is most likely what key? So the key has 5 flats. The piece uses C flat as a point of rest. So be about D flat. What is the quality and size of the interval from E sharp to B natural? Okay, so E sharp to B natural says E to a B natural. The rule would state that it would be a perfect fit in between those two intervals. But if it has one of those being raised, I'm gonna have to say B, to say I'm in it there. In the key of E major, what note is 3? Holy God. Okay, if I know this on the top of my knowledge, if 3 would have to be a minor key, I'm going to look at the fact E after G sharp. On G sharp, I'm going to say A, because it kind of starts similarly. Which scale mode would best fit in melody using the pitches? I'm going to say Dorian. A key that's moving 5 to 6 in a major key. This one is deceptive. Which composer most strongly bridges the classical period and romantic period? Beethoven. A hornet F plays a written C5. What pitch does it sound? C5 sounds okay. So that my hornet F, if it plays a C5, it's going to sound a major fifth below U. Or wait, F4. What texture best describes a fugue? No. Oh, fine. They kind of feature horizontal in the root position triad, yes. See the root. A piece that avoids a functional harmony uses tones and no tone center. B. Okay, I might have the first one wrong. Let's have one. Wait a minute. Okay.